The American Election, a Various Fields series special, Various Votes.
Welcome, everybody, to the American Election, a Various Fields series special, Various Votes. I am Lex.
I'm Hazen Fields II.
And I'm Trey. How you doing today?
We're all about the yes and here, guys. We're going to continue on all the things politics, all the things election, and we talked about this last week, or when you guys would have seen it last week. But I want to get back into it again because it is a certain version of terrifying. We're talking about Project 2025.
It is very, very terrifying. I believe last time I spoke about this, I called it, 800 pages plus? But the full dossier, the full document is 922 pages.
Yeah,
broken down into, bits and pieces about you have your index, but you also have contributors listed. You have people actually a list off of every author that's part of this document, all right, acknowledgments, right, and the actual opening, the welcome starts off on page 1.
Right.
But it is a great deal of a lot of how do you say this? Oppressive regime coming in. It's just a lot.
Okay.
You know what? I would also say we can almost make a game out of this because there's so much in Project 2025, and we talked about this last week as well. What we're going to do again, we're going to put this in the description. We'll make the link because it's a PDF. You guys should go through it. You should look through it.
Right.
But as you're looking through it, find something you don't like. Because I promise you will. And the thing is you don't have to read the whole thing. Just find the one thing you don't like and do your research on that. And if you're like, wow, this is a lot, don't worry. Someone else is going to take care of it. Believe me, there's so much. I want everyone to do a part and take one piece. Like, maybe I should get into that.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. And I think the main reason... another reason why I bring up Project 2025, and I think, in fact, it's 900 pages, 922, and I would like to say this is a quote for someone, but I don't want to give misinformation, so I can't remember. But I do know it's one of those things, if you want to do something evil, make sure it's boring. It's something like that. And I feel like Project 2025 is very much in that camp.
100%.
It's the license user agreement.
It's exactly of Verizon, right?
Right.
Verizon terms and conditions, and then this is right next.
It's the CVS receipt of, it's just, there's so much.
There's so much to it.
There's so much to it.
But here we have in the foreword a promise to America. They have a conservative promise, and they go down and list the type of promises that this document is ensured to give you. Promise 1 was, let me see, what do we have? To restore the family as a centerpiece of American life and protection, and protect our children, which is not that bad, but please read through it so you can get the piece of it. The second one was to dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. So now we're kind of getting into the whole ploy of this thing, right? And we're understanding how they want to do it. Promise 3, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. And what was the last one? Secure our God-given individuals' rights to enjoy the blessings of liberty. So this is almost like a battle.
Right, but what happens is, once you what they say, the devil is in the details. Right. You said, whose freedoms? Who's gonna? My thing is this. Now listen. I am personally, I still identify as a Christian. That's who I am. But that's me. That is me. And I am not, there are some mighty fine atheists that I know. And they're fine. And everyone in this country was established so that you don't have to have a particular religion, and that's it. And for us to now kind of move in that direction, it takes away some of the rights and liberties of people who decide that they don't want to be Christian or Muslim or or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not just freedom for religion being Christian, but any religion at all. So I want Americans to have that right.
And something that also I wanted to touch on with the Project 2025 thing, because I know, Trey, you actually just experienced this. Outside of the various fields, or I guess also connected to various fields, my brother also on his Facebook said, hey, everyone look into Project 2025, as you should. And then someone commented saying how, like, well, Trump's not a part of that and all that jazz. Now, Trump is trying to intentionally distance himself.
Right.
However, he's very much a part. They're doing that because they want him to be elected. They want this is going to be implemented, and it's going to have more power if he's elected.
Right.
And then lastly, it's like I again, I'm just bad with numbers off the top of my head. I know it's about 20 people and more, 20 plus people that actually worked for Trump that are also now actively working on Project 2025. Like people who worked with Trump are also part of that. It's also funded by and also essentially produced is the wrong word for this, but produced by the Heritage Foundation, which is another kind of like what's not donors.
Think tank
is that kind of thing. It's extremely in his camp.
Just to name a few people that are on this list of non-affiliated affiliates, right? Benjamin S. Carson Sr.
I've heard of him.
Right? You've heard of him?
Yeah.
I could have sworn. Right? We have, how do you say this one? Rick Dearborn, right? Donald Devine, Diana, please forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong, Diana Ferdscott Roth, Thomas F. Gilman, Mandy M. Gunasekara, Jean Hamilton, Jennifer Hazelton, Dennis Dean Kirk, Kent Lassman.
Wait.
Christopher Miller. I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. It's I legitimately want to do like the '90s intro commercial. Like stand up, as they were turning around.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that what is the objective of this? Well, one of the objectives that they have is they want to try to give a great deal more power back to the executive branch.
Right.
Now, this government was set up. I say everything is theoretically because when we talk about freedoms, of course, it gets under my skin because. Ironically, whilst they were speaking of freedom, they had an institution of slavery. So therefore, the truth of their freedoms was, at best, it was a lie. It was theoretical. So in its theory, and the American system of government was supposed to be broken up in three branches of government, the executive, legislative, and then the judicial branch. And when you have those three branches of government, the concept was to have such checks and balances so that when you got to the president, there was so many different things to curtail anyone just making any kind of judgment. You could veto an idea, veto a legislation, veto a bill. But now with the 2025, they want to try to limit the amount of power that would be held or increase the amount of power that the president would be able to hold to bypass the very branches of government that was set up to do the checks and balances.
Right. And that actually reminds me something I want to talk about. So this way, why are we telling you guys to look up Project 2025? We're not just giving you homework, right? It's because something that's also important in what we have to say is they say power to the people, and it's also to remind us as people we have power. Project 2025 is trying to take that power away, but as a thing to remind people that it's not just all doom and gloom. Project 2025 is across board, wildly unpopular. That's why Trump is trying to distance himself from it, and that's because more people are figuring out what it is, what it entails, things like that. So another reason why we're telling you to look it up is look it up. If you find something you don't like, put it out there, talk about it, because then even now, everyone who's supporting this is trying to be like, wait a minute, hold on, maybe this is a bad idea. Because now you can't get people less support. And then just by denouncing it, just by being like, hey, we don't like this, we do take power actively away from Project 2025.
And
so you have the ability to do that just by being like, hey, yo, what's up? What is this?
Right, and please understand, like, even though Trump is now saying that he has no idea what this is all about, he did, in fact, 2 years ago say he worked very closely with the Heritage Foundation and was very excited for the project to come. Like, I don't think that was more of a hit on the head.
Yeah, General,
I mean,
don't take his word. He's a liar. He has,
exactly.
He's like, he shenaned. He has shenaned and he will shenan again.
Right. So like, it does not matter what he says at this moment, even if he backs away from it wholeheartedly at this moment. The second he's in office and says, well, I changed my mind. Then what are we going to do then? Right? Because this is supposed to launch off the second any conservative president is in power.
And he's already said he's going to be a dictator day one.
Exactly.
And now listen, everybody, just to, once again, we have to tell you to like and subscribe and hit all the buttons. And we're so glad that you're listening to this conversation. But I have to remind
all the ballots too, please.
We have to remind the viewers that as we're speaking about this, there are things that have happened in the future.
Oh, right.
Right. So I'm hoping that we are on a positive path where we see an increase in the polls for Kamala Harris. This is my personal thing, and I would like to see the increase of, those who are registering to vote. We'd like to see that happen. So let's make this, the future that we're about to see.
Okay.
I hope it's going towards more.
So
of the
I'm
direction.
excited. We
Okay.
go
I
first.
was simply going to say, seeing how we're casting this into the future,
Yeah,
here's
the
my
future.
prospect right now.
right.
In the future, right, from this recording, right, it will be assured that Kamala Harris has picked her vice president.
Yes, that's right. That's
Right.
true.
It has not happened yet, but I assure you, upon this recording, it has happened.
Right. That's a good point.
I want to double down on this. So I think it's sometimes a little scary to do predictions. I don't want to do the polls.
Right.
But I do realize we have the power now because I want to do like a dream board.
Okay.
I want to put something into the future, guys. What do you want to put into the future? And then by the time this comes out, we'll be like, we did it. Various fields. Thanks.
Let's see. Oh, wow. That's something I have to think about that. You go first if you want to.
Well, I want to put into the future that Kamala Harris has got it.
All right.
And I mean, she's got it.
She's got it.
She's got it. And not even like, I don't want to be like, okay, because of the poll, she's going to win because of the stats. And I don't want to be like, listen, vote. I mean, I'll vote for her, but I also want to do like she's got it.
No,
You know what I mean? That's the kind of
I want that comfortable conversation.
Yeah,
all right.
I want to.
Okay, all right. What about this?
Yeah.
The debate happens between Kamala Harris and 45 the felon, and she demolishes him. It is like such a slaughter that it's almost a herd.
Not even demolished. I want to so demolish that Hulk Hogan puts his shirt back on.
Ooh,
She just
very nice.
Wow.
How do you unhook the Hulk? That's amazing.
All right. Okay.
All right, Trey, what do you got?
All right, then. I want to put into the future. I mean, this is absolutely going to happen. Actually, I think I'm trying to get it right now.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Hang on. Here it is. Yeah, she won.
Wow.
It's not January 6th yet, but she won.
Oh, wow. We really are going to the future.
That was way too in the future. I'm sorry.
Guys,
I only
if
want
it
to.
happens, you have various fields of
Thank you.
Come on.
You're welcome.
I only want to say that because it's not going to be our voice that pushes or in charges, because honestly, just the noise and the news that Kamala Harris is even on the ticket is exciting the party once again, right? I'm hoping that people come out, show out, hit all the ballots. Hit all the ballots and show your respect for Kamala Harris.
Because it is exciting.
It is
Right.
exciting. I'm really actually excited by the ladies in government who are actually, the sisters are really doing it.
AOC.
AOC. Jasmine Crockett. Oh my God. The
Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. These are some very strong voices that are being said, and and it's so ridiculous that people have the position, well, if a woman's in government, we're going to have wars. All the wars have happened because of men. This is so dumb. World War I, World War II. More.
The rest.
The trilogy.
You know what I'm saying? Every war.
Only dudes back in action because of men. That happened.
The war that wasn't quite a war, the spin-off.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So I think that the new energy that is there, I would love to see Kamala Harris just in the White House, just commanding things, man. And
It would be the start of the new at that moment.
That's right.
And and also as three dudes on a podcast, I not only do I want to thank the women in my life, but also I want to like put the power out there, because it's one of those things where I am so excited. Again, I've said this technically last week. You guys will see it, doesn't matter. But I said this already. I'm so excited that Kamala is going to be, because like I want not even just if, but when Kamala wins, I'm just putting the projector in the future.
Okay,
when Kamala wins,
I like it.
That. Like after the Roe v. Wade was taken, that's like I said, that's like a spiritual justice. Like I can't.
Yeah.
That's who needs to take. That's needs to not just take the power back, but that needs to be the person who implements the power, because that's the only person who can implement the power and advocate for it.
Right.
Kamala Harris, like women can only be people to advocate for that the way that women can, because rights are taken away from women by men, by a man in power.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And nothing felt like more of a backslide than seeing that taken off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you see the conversation about Roe versus Wade is such a touchy thing, because I'm going to say nobody on earth desires abortion. No one is saying they like it. No one is like, what people are talking about is a woman's right to choose in terms of the viability of life of a fetus, and I know that right now people are like, oh, well, that's bad. I get it, but a woman should have the right to choose.
That one.
Right.
That's the one we're advocating. I think everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has different. So I'm going to say I don't think you. And here's the thing, just in general, because just when you're talking about people, identity, things like that. Because we're talking about voting, we're talking about culture and things like that. You can't cast a broad stroke over anything. So I can't say no one wants to have an abortion. Like I can't say that for an individual.
Okay, I got you.
But I am saying the thing that makes it important, like I said, is the right to choose.
Is the choice.
Because women are. Oh God, this sounds so terrible. Women are individuals, and I'm saying this sounds terrible because women are people, and I hate saying it that way because it's crazy to take a right away from a person of their own body. Like that's insane. Like the fact that like you can no longer make the decision for yourself is wild.
America, it's been done, and it's not good. People making a decision on your life and where you can live and where you can go and where you can be and your last name. It's not a good thing, America.
He's saying we know because you have skin in the game.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely, and it's something that we want to be able to say to every American. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I do like that line.
Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness. Right. It's not the guarantee of happiness, but you gotta be allowed to pursue it. Right. You might get to that destination and you say, I was pursuing that all that time, and I'm really not happy.
And rather, a pursuit to not be a jerk at the very least.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It shouldn't come down to caste systems in America.
Right.
That's what all it seems to be, particularly in 2025. Like, one thing that always bothered me about reading this, right, and even hearing some of the blurbs I'm seeing online too, right, they, like, in terms of government funding for schools and education, all right, I know that they're trying to cut it. Right, I know that they're trying to more or less get rid of it. Right, but the one thing that hurt me was understanding that even if you were a governmentally funded institution, right, you would be forced to enter a draft for all those that were participating of, right, and then if you were a private school, right, you didn't have to worry about that at all, right. So if you had the money to avoid the draft, right, you could do so. right?
It's weird. That almost sounds personal. Almost sounds like someone who would have done that. Who would have done? Was that a
Ooh.
Trump? Oh, maybe
Hey,
Trump.
who-
Hold a minute. Who had enough
Wait a
money
minute,
to
who had
not
a
go
bit
to?
of
I think he got some spurs or
draft?
something.
Yeah, you know, it's so bad, man. I mean, and we're talking about a guy that has 34 felony counts, and they say, well, it's. It was
And
because of his business. Well, he lied. He lied in the what was his lying in his business documents and
Oh my
I mean it's
The fact that he relates to, like, he says that the black community relates to him because
Oh
of
my
his
God.
Yeah, I know.
misjudgment, his mistreatment in this,
Yeah,
In
I
the-
don't
in
wanna-
the justice system. I mean, that
Lord have mercy.
Can I actually say something?
That
kind
was something.
Cut off of both.
Good,
of
good,
those
good, good, good.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's like we're all
I didn't wanna take it-
we're all triggered.
no.
We're all triggered. Everybody, give me one big woosah. Woosah.
go
Okay,
away.
good. Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to say about that is because also I think a thing that I feel like people are trying to spin, and I don't want it to be taken the wrong way, because they're doing the political pitch now is Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, which is a prosecutor versus a felon, right? And now people are trying to say, like, well, I've been a felon before, I've done this, and I've admitted my ways and things like that. We're not demonizing Trump for being a felon. It's the fact that, because also another thing, if you whatever the case is, you've paid your due, you paid your time, whatever, it's gone to prison, however you paid your way, you went to court and all that kind of thing. That was your way of giving back to society. You do the time, pay for crime,
Do the crime, do the time.
Yeah,
kind of like, that happens. And then if you come back, that's how you get welcomed back in society. You shouldn't be continually repunished if you're a felon. Right?
No.
You should be continually repunished. You did what you have to do. Welcome back into society, how it works, and that's a story for so many people. We're not punishing you for the one thing that happened in your life, or the mistakes, or whatever you had to do to get out of that situation. We're not punishing you for that. So it's not a prosecutor. It's not good versus bad in that way. The thing that people forget about Trump is he hasn't paid for anything yet.
That's
He hasn't done anything yet.
That's right.
He hasn't. There's nothing he's done to say I've changed my ways. Sorry, one last thing.
No, go ahead.
On the assassination attempt, he was like, I almost got shot, and with the weird political spin was like he almost got shot. So now Trump has come back a changed man.
No, not that.
At most, if it lasted a week, it was a short week. Like it didn't. I'm sorry.
No,
I just didn't want that to be taken the wrong way.
No, it's fine. But the reason why I brought it up is the fact that, like the fact that he says that's how people, the African American
Yeah, I know.
community
Yeah, he
relates
relates
to him,
to him, yeah.
right? The very fact he's like, oh, we all have this issue, this injustice with the justice system as a common ground. It takes us all and presumes us all to have interacted with the system, one, unfairly, right?
Go ahead.
And two, the fact that is all it can be related to as a black individual.
Right.
Okay, can we take it down even further?
By all means.
He had the sneakers. Remember he sold the sneakers? Like, let me relate to the African American community by producing these gaudy, horrible sneakers.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is something that they like.
Anytime Trump or because also it's so weird that Trump and also now any conservative Republicans are like the system has changed, which we've been saying for years, by the way. But just because now they're being directly affected, they're like the system's changed. It's a two-sided judge system. But the same thing I want to say. Sorry, the one thing I want to say when you hear Trump or people on that side of things say things like that, I want to quote Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. It's not. It's not the same thing. There's nowhere near the same
Weed
thing.
is still legal. People are still locked up. So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
not
tell me
the
that.
same thing. It's just a dude who
Yeah.
has power, wants to get away with power, using.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Well, I guess we've made it clear that we're not
Excited.
necessarily voting on the conservative side or Republicans.
I think we can make it clear.
Yeah. So
I don't think they know. I don't.
But whether you agree with our position or not,
We're undecided voters. That's crazy. Still figure it out.
The beautiful thing about
So convinced.
whether you listen to us and like us, whether you listen to us and hate us,
Yes.
we are not taking your choice away with
Right.
whoever. You can play the Trump card. We can be biding your time.
Oh.
right? But at the same time, when that Kamala comes for you,
wow,
Bars.
I just want to let we'll still be Americans nonetheless.
all right. Wow, that was very well done.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So listen, but we're saying again, and we'll repeat it. Get out there and vote. Make your voice count. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
We do.
Well, we actually do. But the point is, your voice must be heard. So please, if you're not registered to vote, get out there and do it. But anyway, I'm loving the energy. I'm feeling like it's
exciting times.
It's an exciting time. It's like it's dramatic. And once again, we're talking in the future. I don't even know what's happening in the next.
Few
weeks,
you know what it is? It is terrifying because like about the time this show comes out, we could be stressed. Oh no! That's exciting.
We could be completely wrong about everything.
2 episodes from now, we're gonna be like, guys.
Oh Lord.
So while we have it, guys, while we have the energy, get excited. That's the thing. Just and if you have, because I said this last episode last week, 2 seconds ago in my life. I don't know how this works.
Time is weird here.
Time is weird. Yes. But again, if you have friends, if you have people that aren't excited, and not even not excited, but like they feel like beaten down because there's so much going on. There's so much there's so much going on in the world, and they feel like they don't have a power. Try to convince them to hit the ballots, convince them that their voice matters, and if it is, and don't just make it about politics. Again, there's so much going on where like if you're having a hard time, honestly, I would say unplug from the news. Because your own individual life, your own individual things, that matters more.
Right.
But at the same time, I know these kind of things can feel overburdening, but I also think that's the trick of the trade, where it can seem like it's too much.
Right.
But you break it down into systems, and the first system that we have in our favor is to vote.
Right.
That's how you show our power, and it's never too overwhelming where it can't be overcome because we've been in situations like this before, and America will live on. So like we got this, we can do it this way, and we just want to make sure it lives on in the way that's favorable for most people.
Yes,
Right.
That's
And
right.
America will live on as long as you, don't encourage mandate 2025 to come over the next few months. That's all I'm saying. So unplug from news, unplug from media, and take up a nice 900-page book
All right.
and read it for yourselves.
Well, now how much more time we got? We got about 4 minutes. Hey, we've been asking that pretty much on the 4-minute queue. Everything
we
like
did
that.
pretty good.
Any last points that you guys want to touch on before we get there?
I don't have anything on politics, but I will say this, because we're talking about sides and not choosing sides, and I forget that people sometimes forget the side that I'm on. I'm on the side of waffles. And if we're talking about character,
That's the undecided voter.
No, it's waffles? No.
You're talking about waffling again, right?
No. I'm talking about waffles. I'm talking about Belgian waffles. I'm talking about Belgian waffles. I'm talking about maple syrup. I'm talking about, if you really want to be a true American and vote to your heart's content, get yourself a waffle. If you don't understand, if you are unconvinced.
You just said Belgian and American in the same sentence. Isn't the flapjack the true American?
Waffles? Are you trying to separate us? Divide us? Waffles are
We were
American.
so close to becoming a very strong political podcast. We were just there.
Breakfast is the most important part of the day.
Waffles are important. And here's the thing. You know why? Because you can't be mad if you have a waffle. I've never seen it. I've never seen someone be mad and eat a waffle. So here's the thing. If you don't agree with us and you don't understand, get yourself a waffle, then listen to our podcast.
That's some elitist stuff you got going on for waffles, my friend. I'm letting you know. I'm just letting you know that sounds like a very sunny side down position.
Oh my goodness.
You sound like someone who hasn't had a waffle in a while.
Okay, I think I'm in the middle of a pun overload. So listen, we are so happy to be with you. Waffles aside, breakfast dishes aside, we're so glad that you've let us in your home. We've got a couple of people out there. Mr. No Worries, I see you out there. You comment sometimes, and we thank you for being here. And thank you for allowing us to come in your home. I love you boys. I love you guys, and we love you out there. Thank you for watching this special edition of Various Votes from Various Fields.
Get yourself a waffle.
Cue the outro.